Okay, and we're back. And as you can see, my menu items up here, well, my main menu's increased quite a bit. All right, and let's see. I'm going to click on motorcycles. And as you remember, we had the drop down for American, and this is a category blog, right? And then now I can go ahead and click on any of these. For example, I'll click on Japanese, and it takes me to a collection of articles. All right, so let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go to my menu. So we'll go to the main menu. Okay, so we set up the home page, right? We set up the about page, which of course links to a single article. We set up the motorcycle menu item, which of course was a single article. And I'm going to go ahead and click back on that. And I've got some content here talking about the history of motorcycles. Okay, and then if I hover, I have these different drop downs right here. Okay, now let's see, what are these drop downs? You might remember because we started setting up the American one already, and it was a category blog. All right, now what I've done is I've added quite a bit more. So if I click on the American one, it's giving me this category blog is actually giving me all of the articles within the American category. And as you can see, I've got quite a few here. Big, long write-ups, all kinds of stuff going on here, right? And there's even several pages of it. Now, we're going to clean all of this up. You know, ideally what I'd like is just a title and a little picture here, and that's it. And maybe a little write-up that says, you know, oh, this so-and-so motorcycle from this year. And then when you click on that, it'll take you just to that article. Okay, so that's going to be a really nice organized way to handle this content. Okay, and again, we're going to go and format all this text and stuff so that we have, you know, headings, you know, an H2 heading and nice paragraphs, and, you know, we'll embed some videos and all kinds of fun stuff. And so I've done that with all three of these. So let's look. We have, whoops, the motorcycle menu item links to a single article. Then the drop-down menus that occur are the all category blogs. Okay, each one of those menu items is a category blog, and when you click on that category blog, it takes you to a page where all of the articles within that particular category are displayed. Okay, for example, the American, the Japanese, or the British motorcycles. All right, now something I'd like to show you right now. Notice how when I go up here and hover, this drops down. However, if I come over here, okay, so now, and I hover, see how nothing drops down? Okay, now we're going to get really deep into modules here coming up in a couple of weeks. But I want to make a change to the settings in a menu module right now so that these drop down, because that's just something I want to happen. Okay, so what's a module? A module is basically it's a division on the Joomla website, okay? And you can have all kinds of things inside your module. For example, this is a module, and we have this login form right here, okay? This right here is a module, and it's a latest articles module. This is an image module, all right? And we're going to be changing that very soon. And then right here, this is a main menu module, okay? So let's just look at modules for a quick minute here. Extensions, module manager, and we have a whole bunch of modules right here. Okay, and anyway, remember how you have to check in again? You know, maybe I should go ahead and just check in. Remember, that's all you do is check it and check in. And it just means that I was there and didn't save, and if you're working on the site with multiple people, then you're going to need to do that, and so you will see those pop up. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of modules here, and like I said, we're not going to get too deep into this right now, but here's a breadcrumbs module, right? Here's our breadcrumbs module. What else? Image module. Okay, there's the image module. There's that image module. Okay, but what we're interested in is the main menu module, and I'm going to click on that. And I have all kinds of options in here. We're going to dive into those for sure, but all I want to do right now is see this one that says show sub-menu items. I want to change that to yes, okay? And then hit save. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and refresh. And let's try it out. There we go, just like that, okay? And for now, I want it to do that, okay? And yeah, we have over here too with our news and events, okay? So let's go, so that was a nice little introduction to what's coming, right? And feel free to explore all you want in the module manager right now. But it's kind of easy, so let's go ahead and close out of that. It's kind of easy at this early stage to see at least how these few modules here correspond to the front right here, right? So, you know, you can actually go ahead, for example, if we open up the image module here, you can see that image. And actually, all you have to do is replace that image, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and put a header in there in a minute, but just go ahead and take some time to explore that, all the different options in the menu manager or the module manager, and see how they correspond out here, okay? Because that's really what's going on with Joomla. Is there's just all these little areas that are divided up. Again, that's what Joomla does, is it divides and organizes content. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to jump in there and change my drop downs. Don't worry, we are going to get deep into modules coming up. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to, let's go to the categories. Category manager. Now, let me show you something interesting I did here. Okay, so we have news and events. That's category, right? And then we have early innovations with a child of this category, of the parent category, news and events. And then we have races and competitions, which is a child category of the parent category, news and events. Okay? No problem, right? We got that. This is the parent category, and these are the two child categories, okay? But notice that when I go to the menu manager again, main menu, notice that I have news and events as a category blog, okay? Now, remember when we had motorcycles, the motorcycles here, this was a single article. Remember, I'll click on that. History of motorcycles, right? And then the drop downs all go to category blogs, the American category blog, the Japanese category blog, and the British category blog. Now, if I click on news and events, it breaks up into something a little different here, okay? And the reason why is because I made, news and events is a category blog itself. And then it has category blogs right here, which are childs of that, okay? So when we click on this, we are getting a little bit different scene than when we click on motorcycles, because that takes us to a single article. This takes me to a category blog that contains child category blogs, okay? Early innovations and races and competitions. Okay, so I'll be able to add more content to this. So maybe my plan will be to have early innovations and then a little write-up on here and a little image. You know, click here for, you know, the latest news in cutting-edge motorcycle technology, such as the steam-powered bicycle, right? Or the this just in, the internal combustion engine bicycle. Okay, and so that is a way to further divide up content. All right, and it's nothing to it at all. It's nothing we haven't seen already. The only difference is instead of having a single article as the menu item, I actually have a category blog as the menu item. Let's look. News and events is a category blog. And then I've got two child category blogs again, okay? So instead of clicking on the main menu item, going to a single article with options to drop down to category blogs, this time I've made it so when you click here, it takes you to a category blog that links to two more category blogs. And so rather than having it linked to a bunch of articles, for example, like this category blog links to all the American motorcycle articles, this category blog links to just two more category blogs. Okay, that's why this says subcategories here, okay? And of course right now it says there are no articles in this category. If subcategories display on this page, they may contain articles. Of course, this is just default hint right here that Joomla gave me, and I'm certainly going to get rid of that. Okay, so let's kind of recap here. So I've got my, whoops, I was jumping. Okay, so I've got my home menu, and remember that was just a single article that had the welcome on it. I've got a single article about, which is a little bit about motorcycles and about the site, but then also explaining that this is a training course. And then I've got my motorcycle single article giving us the history of the early motorcycles. And then below that menu item, we have 3 category blogs. Each one of those category blogs links to all the articles within that category. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and look. Oh, yes, the galleries, once again, let's go back there again. The gallery is, just like it says right here, a category blog. And it's going to link to 3 articles. And in those articles, I'm going to embed galleries. Okay? So those are single articles. Now, then the news and events is a category blog itself. This is a category blog. Okay? And then within that parent news and events, I have 2 child category blogs once again. And then each one of those will have articles within them. Okay? So that's right there is how you set up categories, articles, and menu items within Joomla. Now, although we are going to be diving into using images here very shortly when we format our articles and format all the text, you know, give ourselves headings and start to embed all kinds of images all over the place. But I think it's time to go ahead and get rid of this default image right here. So let me give you a brief introduction to the Media Manager. Okay, so here we are in the Media Manager, and this is where all of our images are going to be kept. And as you can see, they're divided up into folders. Now, see up here, you can create new folders, and I absolutely recommend creating folders and keeping your images separate. Okay, not every single image, but for example, I'm going to have images for the American bikes, and images for the British bikes, and images for the image gallery, okay? And some galleries that you will install in Joomla will require your folder to be named a specific way. Let's go ahead and jump into the headers folder here. Oh, look at that. There's that blue flower right there, okay? So, that gives you a pretty good idea of where this image is sitting, right? Okay, so what I'd like to do is, now there's a lot of different ways to do this, but see how it says upload right here? I'm going to upload a new image. Okay, and I get to choose my files here, and let's see, I've got header right here, and there we go. I'm going to grab this header and upload it. And there we go. Now, you notice how it's Triumph underscore header is the name. I'm going to recommend that you have very clean names for all your images. Very, what do I mean by clean names? You know how if you just grab an image off of Google Images, sometimes it can just be a really long string of numbers, .jpg, you know, like 10 numbers or a bunch of spaces and just long name. You know, maybe it was generated by some other blog that was uploaded there and then given, you know, a name according to the file structure, or you know, or it's just taken off of a camera and so it's just named, you know, like 6 numbers .image, or you know, image 6 numbers .jpg, something really hard to memorize. I recommend renaming all your images to something quite easy, because there are times when you might try and reference an image using HTML, just like we did during the HTML section of our course. And so, as I'm sure you remember, it's nice to have a very simple image name. So just a heads up there. Okay, so anyway, here we are. We are in the Media Manager, and we have one image uploaded right here. And we're going to go through and clean everything up, and I'm going to give you a nice rundown on the entire Media Manager. But I'm sure all of you are wondering right now, how do we get rid of that blue flower? Nothing wrong with that image, you know, it's nice, but you know, it has nothing to do with vintage motorcycles. Okay, so, and there's our nice Triumph. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to go to the module manager, because if you remember, these are all modules, and there was one called the image module. Okay, so let's go to the module, the image module. And if you're confused about this, don't worry. We're going to go through modules like you wouldn't believe coming up. We're even going to be making our own custom modules. And to be honest, this is a custom module. Now, since you've already gone through the HTML part of our course, watch when I flip over this editor. See that? You recognize all of that. No problem, okay? And honestly, we could just switch the name right here in the code, and that triumph would pop right up, okay? But I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I'm going to select that image, and I'm just going to hit delete, okay? And it's gone. Now, see down here where it says image? If I select that, and I go into these headers, and I select my triumph, okay, see how it popped up right here, the image URL, okay? I'm just going to click insert. And there it is. If I toggle the editor, look, there it is, triumph_header.jpg. And I could actually change that right now back to blue flower if I wanted, okay? Now, see the alt text here is not filled out? I'm going to add that, and I'm just going to say, vintage triumph. Okay, just like that, no problem. And toggle back. There it is. Let's go ahead and save this. Module saved successfully, and let's go ahead and refresh. There we go. Now at least our Zoo City Racers site has a motorcycle on there. Am I going to keep it like this? No. Let me tell you what, as an old school graphic designer, this site is killing me. It looks terrible. But remember, just like when we made our little HTML websites, when we kind of were doing that 1990s style design there, just laying out the HTML, and then we got our CSS going and we styled it. Okay, we're going to do that on an epic level here. And honestly, I'm not going to have this here at all. I want a big, huge image right here that changes, you know, like fades in and out of different motorcycles. Maybe we'll have some text drop down here that gives us a tagline about Zoo City Racers. And you know, I'm really envisioning some squares down here that have like links to different motorcycles, and maybe it rotates or you hover over it and they light up and you can click on them. It's gonna look really nice. But it was just time to get rid of that flower, and everybody, when they first get in here, that's the first thing they want to do is put their own header up. So there you go. And as far as the size, I did actually crop it to be this exact size in Photoshop. And if you look at our the Web Design Zoo website, there is a video there on some alternative image cropping techniques that you can use. For example, just going to a website, if you just do a Google search for image crop too, you'll find a ton of these online free websites that you can crop images in, okay? And so if you're not a Photoshop user, don't worry. You certainly don't need to be. And there is a video tutorial on there on how to do free image editing. Anyway, so here's our website so far. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this Zoo City Racers website up on our Web Design Zoo site. So when you go there, you can actually explore this and see what I've done so far and watch the changes as they take place. And by the end of this course, this is going to be one sharp looking motorcycle website.